$1,100. This will never do. Alright guys, today I'm here to talk to you about Linux web development. Why Linux, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. So today, I went ahead and I did some research, and I looked at the price of a MacBook, and I see all these guys on YouTube, guys, and they all have Mac OS. It's all I ever see, and I don't understand it because I'm broke. Man, I'm broke. Check this out, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and transition you to my screen. Check this out, guys. So I went to apple.com. So I go to my Mac, and it looks like I'm assuming this would be the cheapest one right here, because it's 13-inch, so it's small. And I think this one came in at about $1,200, and the iMac came in at about $999, I think. And I don't know about you, but I don't have $1,000 to drop on a MacBook. So that leaves you with what other options? Well, you could get a Chromebook, but then you're going to be extremely limited to what you can do. Or you could get a Windows computer, which isn't bad, but you're paying an extra $100 out of your pocket to buy Windows OS. So what does that leave you with? Not a whole lot. So what did I do? Well, when I started learning web development, I took out my old HP computer and I installed Linux. I wanted to try it out. I had ran Windows up until I was about 18, and I decided that maybe there was more to life. So I went ahead and I downloaded a copy of, actually not even Ubuntu, it was Linux Mint, which is really similar to how Windows is laid out. If I can actually look at this picture here, you'll see that they have a, I don't know if you guys can see that, but you'll see that down here, they have a very similar menu to how Windows works. You click on the button, the super button, and it pops up this menu just like Windows. You'll have like system settings, you'll have shutdown, log out, lock. Over here you'll have all of your applications you can search. It's pretty much just like Windows. This was pretty good. It crashed, you guys. I bricked it. But you know what? That's the point of having Linux, is that you're able to mess up the computer and regrow from that. That's why it's important that, just like any other computer, you wouldn't have a Windows computer or a Mac computer without backing up your data. Actually, I eventually just went on to Ubuntu. And Ubuntu, forgive me for my pronunciation, I hear that everyone has issues with this. Ubuntu, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to say Ubuntu. Was great, actually. And I ran Ubuntu for a long time. And I enjoyed it. It was good. It was great to work with. It had plenty of apps and whatnot that I didn't have any issues with, like Netflix, the browsers. It actually was pretty much my intro, a true intro to Linux. Because just like any other OS, there is going to still be that learning curve that you're going to have. You're not going to pick up your first Windows computer and immediately know how to use it. You're not going to pick up your first Mac computer and immediately know how to use it. You're going to probably open up some stuff. You're going to explore. You're going to click on some stuff. What does this do? Oh, okay. It brings up this menu. Here's some buttons. Here's some information that probably relates to the buttons. And, you're going to learn about it. There's so many flavors of Linux that I really wanted to try more than just stay with the static Ubuntu, the static Linux. And I eventually moved on to something called PopOS. One of the main features of PopOS was the fact that it had, check this out, guys, down here. I think I passed it, actually. It's right, it's somewhere in here, but it has AutoTiling. And just like in Mac, where you would download an app to handle tiling of your windows, Ubuntu comes with that out of the box. So one of the coolest things that I really enjoyed about this OS is that I can literally pop out this tab right here from my Firefox browser. I'm gonna just pop it out. I'm gonna drag it right here, and it's gonna AutoTile. Look at that. Look at that, guys. This is one of the coolest features about PopOS. I can rotate these things around. I can hot swap them from side to side. I can pop them down a workspace. Look at this, guys. I got workspace down here. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hit super shift down, super shift up, and it literally it didn't copy it. It's not a copy, guys. This actually moved down here. If I go back up, this one's now taking up the full space. So it's got auto tiling, and it's one of the coolest things ever. I don't know about you, but the fact that I can just open up, say, VS Code. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to close down a recent workspace that I was in here. Let me just open a new folder or something. And you'll see here how it just automatically tiled. So I can have, say, a tutorial, or I can have some documentation over here on this side while I'm coding over here, and I can easily just adapt to that. So if I wanted to have another window down here, I could easily do that. If I wanted to put this back up on here, I could easily do that, and it will automatically take up that space. The tiling manager is just it for me, anyways, because I'm always coding and I'm always having a video. I actually have two monitors, so the fact that I can have a window here and I can just pop up another window there and have my coding editor on the other screen is just it's a game changer, guys. Because I went from having like a 15-inch laptop screen to being able to have multiple screens and multiple workspaces, and just the amount of space was it's phenomenal to have. You might be asking at this point, what do I need to know to run Linux? And the truth is, guys, you don't need to know a whole lot. What you need to know is how to use Google. You need to know how to search. So if I'm having an issue, right, guys, so like if I'm having an issue installing a package, you can always find some kind of information just by asking the question, and there's going to be someone out there to help you. So in Ubuntu or in the GNOME environment, I believe, I could be wrong about that. In Ubuntu, anyways, you have an app manager, which is how you install packages or apps from the command line. And so you would pretty much you would apt install a package, and that's how you'd install it. You know, you'd have some kind of package name right here, and you would install it. And just like Mac, you actually have a bash terminal. Not like Windows. Windows, they don't have a bash terminal. They use, I believe, a .NET framework or something along those lines. But in Linux, we have the bash terminal, just like on Mac OS, where you can type in a command and you'll get some response. And you don't have there's actually quite a few. This is just a small list right here of commands that you can do. This is a very small list, actually. A lot of the times, actually, there's so many commands. A lot of the times that I actually have to go and I have to Google, how to do this, how to do that in the command line. But after practice, it becomes almost muscle memory, I dare say. For example, Neofetch, that was something that I didn't know how to use right away, and I've seen it in some pictures here and there, but I've never actually used it myself, so I actually had to find out how to print out this shell information. And there's actually a couple different, this is actually one of the few packages. Like, I had to sudo apt install Neofetch, and now I have it, and I can just run it, and it prints out this information. But there's like two other decent ones out there, I can't remember their names, that does this pretty much the same thing. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do. You can there's manuals, man pages for say Neofetch, right, that I just printed out, right? So it has its own like actual detailed manual and how you would go about using it. So for example, I'm not too familiar with neofetch, guys, but if you were to add these to that command, neofetch command, any of these little commands right here, you would actually dash and then the command, and it would actually do whatever this description says. It's called a parameter, command line parameter. This is not a video on how to use the CLI anyways, but so yeah, guys, you don't really need to you don't need to know assembly, C++. You don't need to know what a kernel is. You don't need to know any of that. I mean, really, Linux is super user friendly. It's not like you have to use this terminal to do everything. It doesn't even know what that is, guys. So let's say you want to check out your settings, you know, like you would in a Windows computer. You could type in settings, pop up settings, and boom, you would, I mean, you want to change the background, here you go, right? There's all kinds of backgrounds you can choose from. You can add your own. You'll see that this one actually isn't even in here. It's somewhere else on my file system. And I right clicked and said, hey, set this to the background. So now it's my background. So I mean, there's a GUI for everything. There's a graphical user interface for all of these options. You want a system monitor, you want your what is it, control delete task manager. Well, you got one, you know, it's right here. And right now I actually have a antivirus scanner running right here, and I recently found this CPU limit program that I installed, and now it's running on this parameter identification 945518, which is the same parameter that's running my antivirus scan. And I'm actually limiting it to only use 30% of my CPU, which is why this system right here, let me see, guys, this right here is only hitting about 30%. The rest of it is my recording processor and all that other stuff on top of that. But if I didn't have the CPU limit running right here, guys, this goes all the way up to 100, and it drops and it comes up and it goes down. And most of that is just, there's no limitation on the antivirus scanner, so it just consumes as much CPU as it wants, and it's great. But it wakes me up at night sometimes because my fans just start spinning up like crazy because it's going crazy. It's 100% CPU and it's trying to remain calm, but it's trying to go through everything on my system. And it's a lot. So this morning I actually found the CPU limiter that lets me limit whatever parameter program down to a certain whatever percentage of CPU that I want to allow it to set to. And so, you know, like, that's just another example of how much control I have over Linux. Whereas in like a Windows computer, you probably wouldn't have something where you could say, I want to use exactly 30%, exactly 27% of my CPU. That's just another example of how much control, you know, Linux has available. So you might be asking yourself at this point, yeah, okay, Cam, I get it. You like Linux. It's a great system. It has all this. But what about my programs, right? What about my creativity? How do I get that out? Is there a notepad? Is there what do you guys have? Microsoft Office? Is there a Microsoft Office, guys? Well, yes, there is, guys. It's right here. It's right here. It's called LibreOffice Writer, and you can format it in any way you want, which means that you can format it, you know, in your MLA or your whatever the scientific notation was again. I can't remember, guys. The one problem I did run into though was that Ubuntu doesn't come with Times New Roman, but that doesn't mean that you can't add it. There is a way to add that font to the system, guys. There is a way. Let's roll over to the Pop Shop, which is on Ubuntu, it's the app store pretty much, or on Windows, it's like an app store. You'll have to forgive me, I'm not mentioning Mac too much because I never actually had a Mac. I've never used a Mac, but that's because of the intro price. There's the Chromium browser that is similar to Chrome, but it's not Chrome. Well, guess what, guys? I don't have Chromium either. I actually have the Chrome browser, which is the actual Google Chrome browser, and you can get that from Google. And then I mostly run Firefox, guys, so I have Firefox available to me. But like I said, Chrome is also there. There's a handful of browsers that are available. There's something called the Brave browser, which is also available. But I'm not running that. Let's say that you were into 3D graphics. You know, there's Blender. Let's say that you're into recording. There's OBS Studio for recording. There's the Caden Live Editor for editing your videos. Let's say that you're into photoshopping. Well, guys, there's Photoshop too, guys. It's not actually Photoshop. There's the GNU image manipulator, which is like a basic version. It's more advanced version of Paint, but it's there. But guys, that's just a small version. There's also Krita. If I can remember how to type that. Krita, which is also a great program for any photo editing you want to do. What about for coding, right? What about web development? That's what it's all about, right? Well, we got VS Code. There's I'm sorry, guys. There's VS Code, guys. Right there, there it is, guys. And you can literally just come in here, you click install, and it'll install it. I'm not gonna discuss these dev and Flatpaks right now, but you can come in here and you can install VS Code and just go with it, guys. Maybe you don't want VS Code. Maybe you're a Python guy. If I can remember what it's called, PyCharm. Boom, there it is, guys. It's right there. Maybe you're into Atom. Maybe you like Atom. Boom, it's right there, guys. You don't have to go online and browse. You don't even have to use Google to get these programs, guys. You don't have to physically come up in here and type, well, I want VS Code. You don't have to do all this. You can just go to that pop shop and download it from there. But let's say that maybe something you want isn't there. Well, you can usually go to the host website. For example, Minecraft. The game Minecraft, right? I think they actually did add recently. They did add the launcher, the Minecraft launcher, to the store. Oh, look at this, guys. I don't even have these installed, but I do have Minecraft on my system right here. And I thought it was this one. It's not. Oh, look. Yeah, it is this one. Okay, so that is there. But originally I was getting this from Mojang. I wasn't getting it from that shop. But you can, either way, you can get it from there or you can get it from here. They recommend you get it from the pop shop. But look at this, guys. If you wanted, just like Windows or in Mac, you would go to their website. You'd be like, you go to the download page. In this case, this would be the download page, and this would be your download. We use Debian packages in Ubuntu, but they also have, for other flavors of Linux, Red Hat, Fedora, they also have other packages, obviously, and that's all available. And we'll get into that a bit later, not right now. But look, guys, this is my point, right? Hold on, guys. I'm gonna bring you into me. Come here. Look, guys, this is my point. Why pay $1,000 to learn how to code? I'll be real with you real quick, alright? You don't need to spend $1,000 to learn how to code. Guys, there's YouTube, there's Google, there's all kinds of free websites out there. You have an old computer, install Linux on it. It'll work like brand new. I almost guarantee it. I had an old computer that was barely making it. It didn't even have software that allowed the Wi-Fi to connect anymore. I would plug in like a CD or pretty much anything, like a USB, and it would literally, the computer wouldn't allow me to put anything on that computer onto that USB. It wouldn't let me connect to the Wi-Fi. It was done. It was dead. And I hung on to it for a long time because, it's hard to let some things go. But I hung on to it for a long time, and one day I sat down, I plugged it in, and I went and I installed that USB, and I ran Linux on it, guys. And it ran like a brand new computer. It ran so fast. And it had no issues. I was able to connect to the Wi-Fi. I was able to install that Linux version onto that system and start it up and almost start from scratch, guys. And my point is that, look, guys, you can get an old computer from someone maybe you know. Maybe you have one that you're about to throw away, and you can install Linux on that computer, and you might have a slight learning curve, yes, but you can take that computer and you can do something with it instead of just throwing it away. You don't have to go out and spend 600, 800, 1,000 plus dollars to learn how to code. If you guys want to get into the door, you can go ahead and do that. I've seen a lot of videos the guys are recording and they have this screen brush tool. Well, look guys, I have a screen brush tool, guys. I have Blender available. I have VS Code available. I have a notepad that's called a text editor. I have a Microsoft Office, which is a more advanced text editor, which is like Office Word. I have, dude, guys, I have a spreadsheet. What happened? Oh, I'm still on my. I have a spreadsheet, guys. I have Microsoft or Libre Calc, which is a spreadsheet, guys. Yes, there's a learning curve. Yes, it's a different program. But if you already understand the basics of the original one, the basics carry over. And guys, if you know the basics, but you're not sure how it works in this system, Google, guys. That's what it's for. You go to Google, you look it up, you ask that question, you know, how do I do expressions in Libre Calc? Boom, you have your answer. It's there. So one last thing before I leave, I just want to real quick recap, or not a recap, but before I leave real quick, I just wanted to show you there's another Linux distro. These guys, they make these little computer chips called Raspberry Pi. Guys, the Raspberry Pi 3 wasn't very powerful. I have one downstairs that's running a server that just file shares across my my network, so any of my computers can access those files anywhere on the network. But guys, this thing right here, this Raspberry Pi 4, guys, this thing right here, this beautiful piece of equipment, guys, this thing costs $35. It costs $35, guys. And I was gonna sit here and tell you guys that maybe you won't be running antivirus, maybe you won't have dual screen, maybe you won't, you know, be able to run that video game, but you could learn how to code. Guys, I was gonna say all that, but guys, I went to this website, guys, and just look at this real quick. Look at this. 4K dual display, guys. It has not only one screen, it has two screens, and they're not basic resolution, guys. They're 4K. This little thing right here. Look at this. This guy right here. Got it. This guy right here. He has two USBs, two HDMIs, one here and one here, guys. Look at this. Guys, he's got an external hard drive because this thing doesn't have a whole lot of built-in memory, guys. He's got an external hard drive. Who doesn't have a USB stick, guys? You plug it in, you got a little memory. You don't need much memory for coding, guys. You need enough memory to install VS Code, to go on to Firefox or Chrome and look up some stuff on the internet. That's it. That's all you need. Guys, I was gonna tell you that it's not very powerful, guys, but look, they're running two displays, guys. Not only they're running two displays, guys, but look at this. Look at this, guys. It's got USB 3.0, so you can run that USB port quick. It's got your choice of RAM, guys. It starts with like 2 gigs of RAM, but you can go all the way up to 8. You don't need that much RAM, guys. You're not playing games on this Raspberry Pi for $35. You want to watch Netflix? You can do it. You want to check your email? You can do it. You want to code? You can do it. What's that? You want to take your desktop with you, but it's too large? Guess what, guys? You don't need a laptop. $35, guys. Right here. This is it. I'm just saying. It's an option. You guys, I was going to also say, guys, well, it runs Raspbian, so it's a little awkward at first, but guys, there's a Windows 10 Raspbian. There's Ubuntu Mate you can install on it. Guys, this thing isn't a joke. I think that the onboard HHD, I think it might actually be solid state. I'm not sure, you have to check it out, but I think it is, guys. I'm going to put all these links in the bottom underneath this video, guys. RaspberryPi.org, Linux Mint, PopOS, Ubuntu. I'm going to put it all there, guys. And you guys go ahead and check it out and let me know what you think. Peace.